You know, over the last year or so, I've been hearing and seeing comments from people saying that after all of these new gun owners that we've gotten and the fact that we have over 400 million guns in this country now, that the gun debate is over. Well, I'm here to tell you that we haven't won. Too many people think protecting the Second Amendment is like a basketball game where whoever has the most points at the end of the game wins. However, protecting the 2A is more like defending a castle against an onslaught of invaders who send wave after wave after wave, hoping to eventually break through. Fortunately, that means we really never really get to rest. In terms of strategy, the anti-gun lobby and their bought and paid for politicians are just kind of like the Taliban.
It's, as the Taliban used to say, we may have the watches, but they have the time.
You see, the anti-gun lobby also has time on their side. While we're patting ourselves on the back thinking we've won the debate, they're using the public schools to teach the next generation of kids that the Second Amendment is obsolete and outdated. These are the same kids who will eventually grow up to become the new leaders and voting demographics in this country. And they will vote for gun control because that's what they've been taught to do.
One life is worth more than all the guns in America. And to the politicians that believe that their right to own a gun comes before our lives, get ready to get voted out by us.
The biggest mistake we make is underestimating their desire for power and control. We naively think they want to save lives. No, they want to control lives. They use the goal of saving lives as a smokescreen for their lust for power and control. Think about it. Every time the government says it's for your safety, it means giving them more power and control. For your safety is the perfect excuse for everything. It's the equivalent of going to Showtime at the Apollo and singing a gospel song so you don't get booed.
All you want me to, I'm gonna try and surely I'll succeed.
The anti-gun lobby and their politicians aren't dumb. They know exactly what they're doing. They know if they actually came door to door confiscating people's weapons en masse, it would galvanize not only the hardcore 2A supporters, but even the middle of the road supporters. Instead, they pick at the Second Amendment a piece at a time, and they use tragedies to do it. This is why they try to push for gun control after every tragedy without fail. That said, they don't have to go door to door taking guns. They'll just do what every other country did. They'll call it a buyback and then make it a mandatory buyback. If you don't sell your guns back, you'll go to prison. Remember, they play the long game. They're perfectly fine waiting 10 to 20 years. They'll make an example out of someone really prominent and then also make an example out of somebody who's normal and random. This basically tells everyone else, we don't care who you are. If we find out you have a gun, you're going to prison. They know most people aren't built to take penitentiary chances. So they'll start turning their guns in one by one because they have kids to feed and families to take care of, and they'll say it's not worth the risk. The goal is never to let it get to this point. Most people aren't built to take penitentiary chances, but they are willing to vote against laws that they otherwise would vote for if not for having new information. The way they get that information is by us continuing to engage in the debate because it's going to be had regardless whether we want to or not. Remember, we're not trying to talk to the anti-gun lobby. We're trying to educate the people in the middle, because once the anti-gun lobby can no longer exploit the ignorance of the people in the middle, the anti-gun lobby has no power. You know how frightening it is to think about what happens in the moments before, during, and even days after having to use your gun in self-defense? When you first start carrying a gun for protection, it can be a very scary and nerve-wracking experience, especially if you haven't gotten the education and training you need to feel confident. I've been there myself, hoping I never have to go through a self-defense shooting, which is why I'm a member of the USCCA. As a USCCA member, you can eliminate some of the stress of carrying a gun for protection by accessing the amazing wealth of firearm education, training, and current state-specific gun laws of your state or states you may travel to. This can help you be prepared for or hopefully even avoid a self-defense incident. As a bonus, members automatically become insured on the self-defense liability insurance policy purchased by and issued to the USCCA. Click below to learn more. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and most importantly, make sure you hit that bell symbol.